Okay, so you may or may not know, but my husband and I very recently in the last month have relocated from the UK down under to Australia. And going through that process has taught me something, a lesson that I cannot believe it's taken me this long to learn in my life. And I want to share that with you because productivity is something I get asked so many questions about. And so I have figured out a system that appears to work to enable you to get so much done in such a short period of time. So I'm going to start back at the beginning when we started our relocation. We had 3 weeks of intense insaneness. And I just want to take you through those 3 weeks just to explain what we did, what we achieved, how we did it, and therefore the lesson that I have learned that I am going to carry on applying in my business, in my life, to hopefully be way, way more productive. So here we go. Right, so week 1, we prepared for the packers coming into our house. So that was sorting out in our house what was coming on the plane with us, what was going into storage, what was going to the charity shop, what was going to the tip, what we were giving to other people, what we were selling. All of that had to be done and decided on. We then packed about 91 kilos of luggage that we actually brought with us on the plane, which was insane. But we weren't sure how long we were going to be without our shipping that had already gone and was on its way to Australia. We did about 10 trips to the tip and about 10 trips to the charity shop in that time, in that week. We cleaned, ironed and rehung 17 pairs of curtains. We took down all the pictures. We took out all the picture hooks. We filled in all the holes. We repainted the walls. We cleared the garden. It was autumn. There was loads of leaves in the garden. For the Ministry of Defence, you've got to have a clean garden. So we weeded the flower beds, cut the grass, got rid of all the leaves, did that in that week. We basically packed up. We didn't do the packing, but the movers came in for 2 days and packed all of our stuff that was going into storage. We sold all our white goods in that week. The fridge freezer, the washing machine, the dishwasher got sold in that week. We sold the car that week. We also managed to trog around the country a little bit and see some family and friends before we left. We cancelled our TV licence, our gas, our electricity, our insurance, and we basically then cleaned the house top to bottom, which I have to say also involved my husband almost doing an all-nighter to get the kitchen cleaned just in the nick of time before we handed the house back to the MOD. So that was week 1, what we achieved in week 1. So we then took our 91 kilos of luggage to the airport, got on a plane and flew down here to Canberra in Australia. And there then followed 2 more weeks of total craziness. So we took over our new house. We bought and insured and taxed a new car, and very importantly went and found and bought some sat-nav. We bought all the white goods for the house, so the washing machine, the dishwasher, the fridge freezer, all of that stuff. We bought 36 new pieces of furniture, which involved us going to IKEA, which felt like about 20 times. We bought things like bins, lamps, toasters, toilet brushes, all of that kind of ad hoc stuff that you forget you need until you're in a house and then you need it. We bought all our garden tools and our garden hose. We bought bikes. We unpacked 91 boxes of stuff that had been shipped from the UK. All of that stuff arrived. Unpacked 91 boxes of all our stuff. We built all of those 36 pieces of furniture from IKEA flat pack, and amazingly we didn't kill each other. We hung our pictures, got our rugs out, put cushions on the chairs and the sofas. We found a home for everything: books, clothing, snowshoes, tools, crockery, all of that stuff. We found homes for everything. We tidied the garden and we did 6 more trips to the tip here in Australia. So that was what we did physically, but then there was all the admin that went on behind the scenes. Okay, so while all that physical stuff was going on in the house behind the scenes, well, there was also masses of admin we were doing as well. So things like sorting out our new contents insurance, very importantly, getting the Wi-Fi connected to the house, getting our gas and electricity sorted out. We had to register for the Australian healthcare system, their Medicare system. We needed to get Australian driving licenses. We needed new mobile phone contracts. We needed new bank accounts. accounts, and we were also doing all our change of address stuff for back in the UK, so letting everybody in the UK know our new Australian address, and really importantly getting our Costco membership set up. But all of that administration was going on in the background. We were doing all that practical physical stuff as well. And at the end of those 2 weeks, A, we were exhausted, and B, we couldn't quite believe we had achieved so much in such a short space of time, because at the end of those 2 weeks, by that last Friday, everything in the house was set. All the furniture was made, all the pictures were up, all the rugs were down, everything was in its place pretty much. And we'd achieved so much. Our productivity had been like through the roof. And so since then, I've spent a little bit of time thinking about how the heck did we do that? How the heck did we achieve so much? And I had a massive light bulb moment, like a massive light bulb, and came to a realization that we'd gone through a process that I had, not consciously, totally subconsciously, but once I sat down and thought about it, I could see that process. And that is the productivity hack I want to share with you now. So for me, doing a blog post normally takes me about 2 weeks. So how in 2 weeks did we get so much done? I mean, it was amazing. So I've been thinking about it, and I've come up with a kind of 4 things really that made a big difference in our productivity and how we were then able to be so productive in such a short period of time without killing each other. And I think the first thing that I realised was that we were very, very clear on our overarching goal, and we were both absolutely invested in achieving that goal. And I think when I speak to a lot of healthcare practitioners, they don't have a clear goal for what it is they're trying to achieve. They're in their practice day to day and they're on that treadmill, but they don't have a thing that they're working towards, a clear vision, a clear goal of what it is they want to achieve. And we were really clear. We had 2 weeks whereby we could be in a hotel for 2 weeks and get everything sorted. We had to be out of that hotel by the end of that 2 week window. So we had to do everything in those 2 weeks. The pressure was on. So we were really crystal clear. In 2 weeks, we have to get everything sorted and be in our house in a position where we can get on with our lives. We had to do that. So we were totally clear and we were really invested in it. We didn't enjoy being in the hotel. We didn't enjoy eating all our meals out. And so we were like 100% focused on this one thing. We've got to do everything we can to be in that house by the end of those 2 weeks, making sure that all our shipping has been delivered from the UK, the furniture has been delivered from IKEA, we've got it all together, we've managed to unpack, we've connected the electricity and the gas and the Wi-Fi and all of that stuff. That was our vision, that was our goal, was to get it done, and we were totally invested in it, and we were both on board and just going for it. So that's number one, is about being totally clear on the overarching goal that you've got. And then number 2 was we kind of broke it down into clear segments in our minds. We had the house and everything that we were doing for the house. We had transportation. We had to sort out buying a car, because without a car it was just going to be a real struggle to get here, there and everywhere and get to the tip and get to IKEA and Bunnings, which is their equivalent of B&Q, and buy all of that stuff that we needed to put pictures up and things. And then we had our admin. So there was kind of the house, transportation and admin, and we had those 3 very clear areas that we were working in. And within each of those silos, which is point number 3, each of those silos had a very clear to-do list, all of the things we needed to do for each of those sections to achieve our goal by the end of those 2 weeks. And so it was a very clear process. Here was our goal, here were our 3 silos, here were the things we had to do. So for example, the car, we had to find out where the local garages were. We had to go and start looking at second-hand cars. We had to find one that we wanted. We had to organise getting the money transferred from a UK bank into an Australian bank. We had to then organise getting that, their equivalent of taxing and insuring it. We then had to go and find ourselves a sat-nav so we could actually drive it. The idea is we have one car, so we also have bikes. So then we needed to, in the transport section, we needed to identify where can we go to buy some bikes. Let's go, let's see what's available, let's find the one that's appropriate, let's buy it, all of that stuff. So that was the kind of transport to-do list that we had. And we had that to-do list for each of those 3 silos: the house, the transport, and the admin. And having that really clear in our heads, even though this wasn't a plan, we didn't set out for it to be like that. That's just how it happened. But this is part of why I think it works so well. So we had our goal, we had those 3 clear silos, and then within each of those 3 clear silos, we had very clear to-do lists. So that was those 3 steps. But importantly, before any of that almost, was the 4th thing. And that was where we identified some of the key tasks that had to be done really early to unlock everything else. And moving to a new country, 2 of the things you need is proof of residency and a bank account. If you sort out your proof of residency and a bank account early on, everything else falls into place. You can get your Costco membership, you can get your driving license, you can register for gas and electricity once you've got that proof of residency. You can buy a car because you've got proof of residency, all of that stuff. So identifying the key things early on that will unlock or make your life easier to get those done early on is the 4th thing that I learned. So that's it. That is kind of what I think we've done in 2 weeks to get all of that stuff done in 2 weeks, is to be really clear on our goals, to break that goal down into very clear silos, and within each of those silos have a very clear to-do list, and identify the key tasks early on that need to be done early on to kind of free up everything else, or to enable everything else to happen. And then I guess the 5th thing was we just put our head down and got on with it. But we didn't get on with it randomly and by having a lie-in. We got up every morning, we looked at the to-do list and said, right, what can we do today? The boxes haven't been delivered, the furniture hasn't been delivered, but that means we've got some free time. We can go looking for a car, or we can go and sit in a queue in the office where we need to register for our driving license and all of that kind of stuff. So it was about number 5 was about getting on and getting it done, but not in an ad hoc way, by following the list of things we needed to do and things that had to happen every day. So although I am a very much self-confessed, slightly chaotic, random person, and I'm not good at lists and I'm not terribly organised, just going through that process has really shown me and really taught me that system, that process can really help to move mountains and achieve so much. And I mean, our productivity was phenomenal over those 2 weeks. I know I keep saying it, but it was true. I still can't quite believe we did it in 2 weeks. And with the kind of first week before all of that back in the UK, where we were really busy and tired and running around doing all that sort of stuff as well. So within 3 weeks, we have really moved mountains and achieved an awful lot. So I hope my little adventure in moving down under, coming to Australia, and the lesson that has taught me in those kind of 5 steps really that can really improve your productivity. I am now going to go away and apply that in my business and just kind of watch this space and see what happens. If you've got any questions at all, in the comment box below the video, I will be very happy to answer any questions. But if you've got any other top tips on productivity and how I can get better at productivity, or other top tips you can share with everybody else, again, please let us know in the comments below this video. That would be awesome. So give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, just make a comment, do something, give me some indication as to whether this has helped or not helped you. I'd be really, really grateful. And then I will be back next week for my next blog. Oh, just one more thing before I go. If you're not watching this at jillwoods.com on my blog, you might want to head over there, because in the blog post that goes with this video, there are 2 bonus productivity hacks and a downloadable check sheet for you. So follow the link in the description.